boop, beep boop, beep boop. A Just the Network production. Beep boop boop. That sounds good. Take it away, me. Hello, Gistners, and welcome to Just the Gist. I'm your host, Rosie Waterland, and in this podcast, I tell entertaining stories about anything and everything, but with just the gist of what you need to know to help you sound impressive at a dinner party. Gisting in every week is the JTG production team and you guys, the Gistners. So, let's get gisting. This is a masterpiece of storytelling you're about to experience.
I'm very excited.
That you're about to experience. Okay. If anything's going to set the dignified tone of Just the Gist Rosie's version, it's this story. Okay, are you ready, guys? I've got all three of my amazing producers, on-air Gistners, Kate Lever, James Joseph, and Hayley Stavely here this week all together because, frankly, this is a story in which I would like an audience. I would like a crowd. And I think generally having all three of you Gisten is probably like a bit too crowded. You and all your opinions. But this is one where I'm like, no, I would like to center stage this one. Yeah. This is a good one. This is again one that is strange putting the words Rosie's version after it, but I'm leaning in. This week I'm giving you guys just the gist of, I couldn't figure out back then how to name this and I still can't, so I'm just going to say it how it is. This is just the gist of the woman who fell in love with, had a romantic relationship with, including sexual relationship with, a dolphin. This is the story of Margaret Howe Lovatt and her partner, Peter.
Flipper.
No, actually,
stuff today.
Peter was one of the dolphins that played Flipper on a show. Yes, oh my god.
Dolphin.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I can't wait. Okay, here we go.
She backed herself a celeb.
A star.
Yeah, famous dolphin. Okay, here we go, guys. Strap in, settle in, let's go.
Rosie.
So, dear Gistners, I'm giving you just the gist of Margaret and Peter, star-crossed lovers. They fell in love, had sensual, quote, Margaret, sexual encounters, despite the fact that Margaret was just a 23-year-old woman and Peter was a dolphin. Here we go. It's 19... See, guys,
You wanted us all
get
here.
it together. Get it. This is serious. Guys, it's 1963. And Margaret Howe Lovatt was living on the Caribbean island of St. Thomas, and she'd always had a fascination with the possibility of humans being able to talk to animals. Wonder why, in hindsight. When she heard that a dolphinarium had opened on the island, she went over there to take a look straight away because she was like, that's right up my now suspect alley. What's a dolphinarium?
Yeah.
You ask.
Like SeaWorld?
I will tell you.
Okay.
No. So it's more important and sciencey than that. So there was a famous neuroscientist in the US at the time called John Lilly, and for quite a few years he'd been studying dolphins and their brains and the use of language and communication they have with each other. Dolphins are famously very intelligent animals, and so Dr. Lilly began to theorize that dolphins could eventually be taught to speak English. He was like hard on that theory. So he did a bunch of research and then he wrote a book called Man and Dolphin, which was published in 1961. And it explained all of his studies so far and then predicted that one day there would be a dolphin delegate sitting in the meetings of the UN representing the interests of marine life on Earth.
Sitting?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they have a little swim up
Dolphin chairs.
pool. I don't know.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah.
Snarky.
Maybe they have the little like helmet, like diver helmet, but there's water in it.
yes.
I don't know.
And they design a chair for his tail.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean,
Or
so
her.
it sounds,
Let's not be sexist.
Yes.
it does sound ridiculous, but Dr. Lilly, like, that was just the part where he was theorizing where things could potentially end up. All the actual study and research he'd done up until that point on dolphins' intelligence and language and communication skills was actually very legit and groundbreaking. But he also just happened to have these other theories about where it could go. But the research itself was very important at the time. And it was so groundbreaking, in fact, that it got the interest of NASA, because this was like, you know, the early 60s and the possibilities of space exploration were like a big thing. And we're only 9 years away from man walking on the moon at that point. So it's like peak NASA time.
So they were thinking maybe it's Dolphin on the moon
Yeah.
first.
Well, so basically they had unlimited funding, and humans had really started to look into space in a massive way at this time, which included like starting to worry about extraterrestrial life. And so to NASA, they were like, something that was at top of their agenda was figuring out a way to communicate with extraterrestrial life. And so they kind of thought, he's done all this groundbreaking study on how to like communicate with a being that is not of our species. Surely we can just take that and transfer it, just take out the word dolphin and put in the word alien. That was kind of NASA's, that was NASA's logic.
Cool, yep.
Yeah.
They were like, you know, we'll probably be on Mars soon and there'll be aliens there and this
speak
will help
dolphin.
us on our way. It's to be honest, it's kind of the plot of that movie with Amy Adams.
Yeah, oh yes, I was just trying to think of
What's that movie
was.
called
Oh,
again?
Arrival.
Arrival, where she's the
Yeah.
linguist, and
Yeah.
she is the one put in charge of figuring out how to.
Yes.
This is kind of what they hired him for.
But in this case, we send the dolphin instead of Amy Adams.
Well,
Make a
yeah,
good impression.
exactly. So when the dudes over at NASA read Dr. Lily's book, they were like, yeah, this guy is just figuring out how to communicate with other species. So let's give him lots and lots and lots and lots of money, which they do because NASA has it at the time. And so they give him this money to continue his research into interspecies communication. But they wanted him to focus on figuring out how dolphins communicate with each other. They wanted him to continue focusing on that research, which was the legitimate research he'd done so far. And so they thought like the idea of like teaching dolphins English and like them ending up at the UN and stuff, they were like, that's crazy, man. Like, but like the other stuff you've done is good. So we'll give you all this money. Like if you keep learning about dolphin language, dolphin communication, and that will go a long way towards teaching us how to communicate with other species. So, you know, this is the guy who wrote about dolphins ending up sitting at the UN. He takes their money, but he's not interested in what they tell him to continue doing. He's like, no, I'm taking your money and I will totally like tell you that I'm studying how dolphins communicate, but like I'm actually just going to spend all this time trying to teach them to speak English. Like that was his.
And drawing diagrams of the bubble for the
Yeah,
UN.
exactly. Like he took their money and basically just started to do all the crazy stuff he wanted to do. So he did this by building the Dolphinarium, which he called the Dolphin House. And it was pretty cool. Like I said, it was on an island in the Caribbean and it was built into the cliff face, like at the beach. So the whole lower level of it was an ocean pool. And it was all kind of like open air. So it was like an office and science lab, but then they had water kind of like how you imagine dolphins would go to the UN eventually. The whole lab and office had pools. The dolphins could basically access any part of the building like humans
so
could.
cool.
So if they wanted to send an email, they just swim up.
Yeah. So like, so this is an image of, this is like, it's sort of in ruins now, but that's how it was sort of built into the ocean. Spoiler. So it was built into the ocean, and then here's like sort of the downstairs where the ocean pool is
fancy.
and the dolphins are, and then there's a couple more. You guys can like Google all of this. There's a couple more images of like inside the building. So yeah, it's
it
like
kind
pretty.
of looks like a nice resort, but
does. Yeah.
instead of like people tourists in the pool, there are dolphins.
Yeah, and
Dolphins
it's been
at the swim up.
and
bar.
it's been built so that like there's just little water corridors everywhere that can like dolphins can go, and they even have there's an upstairs to the building.
Huh?
But the dolphin, yeah,
Dolphin
I know.
lift.
But how? They do. They make a dolphin lift. So there's water upstairs as well, and there's a mechanical lift, and they can take the dolphins upstairs. This is how Margaret and Peter get some private time eventually. So the dolphins can go upstairs to the upstairs of the building where there's also water. They just need to be lifted up there.
Why do they want to go up there?
Like
To have sex with them.
yeah. Why do you think? Why do you think? No, I think just because it's all. I knew this episode would be deranged. Why do you think? I think the whole thing is a science facility, so there's like some stuff, there's stuff up there, there's stuff down there. Sometimes they need dolphins to be up in that area for whatever reason. Probably not what they thought Margaret's reason was going to end up being, but yeah. James, question.
Where do these dolphins come from?
This is what
so, like,
I-
they didn't just like freely kind of like swim up to
Yeah,
this
they didn't
dolphin area
they
and be
didn't
like,
build the building
"This
and then
is
be
nice."
like, dolphins come here, like
you build it, they
dolphins
will come.
welcome.
You
Yeah,
guys need
no,
to
no.
send faxes because
Okay.
we've got a swim up fax machine.
So
So
I
we
will.
work essentially.
I will tell you. So, Dr. Lilly takes, NASA's money, builds this huge thing, and because it was part of, actually, it's really cool, because it was part of the ocean, the rising and lowering tides would keep the water like fresh and clean and natural for the dolphins. It was all just natural ocean water. That's when Margaret showed up. She had no experience, no history in science, but she just seemed really, really, really interested in the dolphins. So Dr. Lilly and the lab director, Greg, let her work there as an unpaid volunteer. And there's an amazing documentary from 2014 where I got most of this information from called The Girl Who Talked to Dolphins. And it is the only time Margaret has ever agreed to be interviewed about any of this. She is interviewed quite extensively on camera in this documentary. And it's a wild ride watching an old lady talk about her long lost love, knowing it's a dolphin. Like it's a dolphin. So
Why would you have been interviewed?
you ask where the dolphins came
Yeah.
from, James. They bought them. Margaret says when she got to Dolphin House, there were 3 dolphins, Pamela, Sissy, and Peter. She says, Peter was a young guy. He was sexually coming of age and a bit naughty.
Oh, no.
All 3 dolphins had been bought from the studio who had, up until that point, been using them to film the show Flipper.
Celebrity dolphins.
So, like, they were, I guess, working, performing dolphins that then, when the show got cancelled, were sold into this
slavery.
life. Yes. Margaret immediately took a special liking to Peter. She liked being around him so much, in fact, that soon she didn't want to leave at the end of the day. So she convinced Dr. Lilly to not only let her live on the upper floor of Dolphin House permanently, but she was the one who convinced him to flood the upper floor with 3 feet of water so they could start having dolphins up there too. But essentially, it was just so Peter could live up there with her too. So she gets there, takes a special liking to Peter, convinces Dr. Lilly, put water on the top floor, build a lift, and me and Peter are going to live up there together. They're living sort of together.
How much time is she spending in the water?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm going to say, based on their relationship, a lot.
A lot.
Because he can't really spend any time out of the
Well,
water.
I know that's what I was
So
thinking. It was like a swim up bed.
James's face, like you guys are like laughing at it, and James is just sitting there looking very.
I'm not going to be
horrified.
okay after this.
So
Do you know what the Dolphin House would make a really good Polly Pocket?
well, there are Polly Pockets that kind of look like
Because,
this.
like,
Think it would
under
have
the sea
like a
ones.
little lift and like little
It
dolphins.
would be
that
really
could do, like,
cute, yeah.
There probably is a
around.
Polly Pocket that looks like this, actually, like a sea one with dolphins and a little by the sea house or something. I'm gonna actually have a
Not
look.
Mattel or whoever.
So yeah,
Get on it.
Get onto it.
get on this appropriate idea,
Bestseller.
Michelle.
Do a tiny Margaret and a tiny Peter.
No. Okay, so Pamela and Sissy, the other 2 dolphins, did sometimes go up to the top floor for like whatever research reasons maybe, but after a while it became like not allowed. It was like, that's Peter's area. Margaret was kind of like, he's a male and they're females, and like there's, you know, it's helpful to keep them apart, like
She doesn't want
for certain
competition.
periods of
She's
time.
jealous.
Yeah.
She's jealous.
So
Stop
she,
texting
so,
your old friends.
so after a while, it becomes like the policy that Pamela and Sissy have to stay downstairs in the building all the time, and only Peter is the only dolphin allowed upstairs. Margaret reasoned that she needed to live intensely, she says, quote, with Peter for a year or so she could teach him English the way a child learns it. So she's like, you know, being around people all day, talking is how you learn how to talk. So she's like, I will live intensely with Peter upstairs in our little ocean room for a year, and like this'll work. And Dr. Lily, who was like already quite radical to begin with, and at this point had started taking like a bunch of LSD all the time. He was like, go for it, babe.
only just
Sounds
started?
amazing. Yeah. Like, he was like, go for it. Like that. Yeah. Genius, Margaret. Do it. So Margaret and Peter are living on the upper floor of Dolphin House. The word she used, intensely, living intensely. Now, watching the documentary, she insists she was making like so much progress, just so much progress. Like she says he could understand Peter, the dolphin, but it just, could understand letters and words and was saying them to her. And like, but he's legit just making dolphin noises.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
"Let me
she
leave."
says, like she says things like he struggles so much with the letter M, but he's really trying. And then they cut to footage of him back in the 60s and he's just like going, like, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's deranged. And then they cut back to her and she's like, see how close he's getting to it? He can nearly do the letter M. And it's like, I don't, okay.
But also, why would it be helpful for him to say the letter
I don't-
M?
I get-
That's not how you
There's a lot of
build
M's in
words.
So-
international law and stuff that he
of
needs to know for his
If he's at the
delegations.
UN, yeah.
That is true.
So it's about this time, not long into when they've been living intensely together, and she is convinced that they've made some pretty significant strides in him learning the English language. It's around this time that the two of them
Go steady.
start to fall in love. Oh, go steady, please. This is love, Kate Lever. This is
me.
love.
Some
Forgive
flippant
me.
teenage,
Yeah.
flippant.
They're all living together too. you
Yeah.
know? Like,
So
Fall in love.
she says of that time, I can't even believe this is real. She says of
Yep.
that time, there's moonlight reflecting on the water,
Oh.
this fin and this bright eye looking at you. And I thought, wow, it is so funny your faces right now. Hayley Stavely is laughing her fucking head off. Kate Lever has her hand in front of her mouth but is like this huge smile on her face. And James just looks disturbed and upset.
James looks like he's going to vomit.
Okay. So she says, there's moonlight reflecting on the water, this fin and this bright eye looking at you. And I thought, wow, why am I here? But then you get back into it and it never occurred to me not to do it. What I was doing there was trying to find out what Peter was doing there and what we could do together.
Oh, the line, it never occurred to me not to do it. It, like, you don't even get to the occurring part.
No,
like,
Should
So-
occur not to do.
Everyone else at this point was now only working downstairs. So not only were the girl dolphins, Pamela and Sissy, only allowed downstairs, the
Humans.
Dr. Lily and
Yeah.
Greg were also never coming upstairs. So Margaret and Peter were alone all the time. And this is when she says things started to get sexual.
Oh.
So,
Margaret.
so like
Come on,
Margaret had pointed out,
Yeah.
cheekily, she pointed out,
Oh, no.
Peter was a young male and naughty and
He's naughty.
sexually in his prime. She says he was very interested in my anatomy.
Oh no.
Peter liked to be with me. He would rub himself on my knee or my foot or my hand. And at first, I would put him downstairs with the girls, she says. But then she was like, well, that's a whole chore because I've got to get him to the lift and like it's a whole to-do to like get him from up here to down there, and then I've got to bring him up again later. And so eventually she was like, I guess I'll just start jerking him off.
That is your only option.
You're not going to use a dolphin leaf.
No,
You can just
I
jerk a dolphin off yourself. Come
She
on.
calls it in the documentary relieving him manually,
Oh my god.
which is apparently a lot easier than using a dolphin lift. So now, of the sexual encounters, Margaret says, again, you can watch this old lady talking about all of this.
I will.
Yeah.
Margaret says, it was very precious. I allowed it. I wasn't uncomfortable with it as long as it wasn't rough.
Oh,
Margaret.
And then sensing that the interviewer, who, you know, is obviously off camera, is looking at her like,
struggling
what the fuck, Margaret? Like James's face right now. She pauses and she quickly goes, it wasn't sexual on my part.
Oh no, of course
oh
not,
no,
Margaret.
yeah. Everyone just
No.
jerks off
Right.
dolphins.
She, like, she's kind of saying like he was getting aroused and I was just, but then this is Margaret did give way. She goes, it wasn't sexual on my part. And then she hesitates and goes, it was sensuous though.
Oh no.
Which is worse, I think.
Sensuous is much worse than
like even if she was talking about a human.
It's
the
so
way that she
creepy.
like
Okay.
precious. Manually relieve.
Yeah.
The
Young
vet
dolphin.
who came to check on the dolphins and their health while they were living at the dolphinarium said it was obvious Peter was madly in love with Margaret.
Oh
just
my God.
obvious.
I bet.
And that
Just bet.
and that she was madly in love with him. Margaret was living with Peter up in their like love nest / laboratory for 6 months.
Oh wow.
was it like an open thing? Like
I mean, the vet says it was obvious they were madly in love. I'm not sure if anyone knew.
Did they cover in vet school how to tell if a dolphin is madly in
Yeah,
love?
I
That
don't know. Like, I guess it was like they're spending all that time together, and you know, an animal and their person is close. I'm not sure anyone knew.
I mean, like, is it criminal?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, it is legally, animals are not considered to be able to give consent to humans.
Yeah.
It's always considered abuse when humans
Yeah.
but then there are things like, for example, in horse breeding or whatever, like there are
Oh,
lots of breeds of
yeah.
animals
Yeah.
that need to be, what does she call it?
Manually
Manually
relieved.
relieved.
But I don't
breeding
think
and
those
stuff.
people find it sensual.
I mean,
No, sensuous.
I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
sensuous.
Oh,
so I don't know what the rules are there.
Much worse.
yeah.
I mean, people knew they were close, and she insisted that he was getting very close to saying the letter M, so she was making scientific
So that he
progress.
could go,
So
Yeah.
jerking off a dolphin,
So
fine legally.
I don't know. Like, this is just the gist, man. I don't know. I mean, she's not in prison, is she? So they'd been there for 6 months, and
Hold on.
not helpful.
We've said too much, guys.
Yeah,
They're coming to
We're
get us.
getting arrested for laughing. Anyway, so Margaret and Peter, they've been up there for 6 months, and NASA was like, hey, we're sending someone to see how the research is going, Dr.
great.
Lilly, because we gave you bazillions of dollars to do this. And the NASA rep gets there and finds Dr. Lilly on LSD and Margaret shacked up with Peter the dolphin in a private apartment, living as a romantic couple.
Oh my god.
And I don't know what Greg's doing, but he's probably just like, I don't know, man, I'm a lab assistant. This has gotten way out of hand. So the NASA dude's like, you're meant to be researching how dolphins interact with each other, and instead you've got a 23-year-old woman jerking one off,
Oh my
insisting that he's saying her name when he's blowing bubbles.
Oh.
Shut it down.
Yeah,
NASA's like, shut it down. So
Gone to the
NASA,
moon with this money.
yeah, NASA very quickly shuts the whole thing down, and Pamela, Sissy, and Peter get sent to live at another facility that Dr. Lilly owns in Miami. And Dolphin House, the Dolphinarium, is closed. Margaret says that she is heartbroken that she is not allowed to keep Peter, which she begged if she could please keep Peter.
How is she going to keep him where?
I guess she's like,
What
love
do we
will
call
find a way.
Yeah.
Love will find a way. She says in the interview later in life, he wasn't mine. I couldn't keep him. We couldn't.
Rosie.
We couldn't elope, you know. We couldn't rush off into the sea and disappear and hide.
Oh my god.
So I was like, this interview is nuts because she keeps insisting like, no, it was just, he was an animal.
just
It
a
was just
logistics
science. It was,
problem.
but then she says stuff like this and it's like, you're giving yourself away, babe. Like we couldn't elope, you know.
Oh my god.
We're laughing now, but hey, like in 100 years' time, maybe.
Her husband will be at the
okay.
UN.
Husband will be at
So,
the UN,
well,
exactly.
I know you're all probably wondering, once you go dolphin, can you go back? Because Margaret does still seem in love all those years later.
I feel like there are a lot of online businesses that would cater to that kind of thing. Maybe she should just.
Well, the answer is yes, you can go back,
Oh.
but not that far. Margaret married the photographer who took all the pictures of Peter and her together at the time.
Oh,
And
trouble.
she and this man then lived in Dolphin House for another 10 years.
Oh my god! You just know she was making him make dolphin noises.
Yeah.
So this is the man who had taken pictures of
I
her
imagine he's like bald and hairless.
like this.
Oh no. Oh.
That's Margaret and Peter, and like this.
Oh.
Was he involved with Peter in a
Look,
sensual
Intimate scene.
way?
Look, we
Those
can
are
only
intimate
speculate.
snuggles. Those
So they turned Dolphin House into a house. They had 3 children there because Margaret says
human
she didn't want to be too far from the memories of Peter.
Oh.
Wow.
Imagine
Being those
going out
kids.
with a woman and like marrying her, but understanding I have to live in a weird half ocean house in the Caribbean because she doesn't want to be too far of the memories of her ex,
Oh my God.
which is a dolphin that she talks about with more love than me.
And he
Like,
lives in
I don't know who
Peter's
this
shadow
photographer
forever.
is, but like, this is, I don't know. So she says, it was a good house. There were good feelings there. I'm a human. I'm in love with a human. I married a human. I had babies. And eventually. I did also have a very close encounter with a, and then she stops herself and she says, I can't even say dolphin. I had a close encounter with Peter, with one dolphin, and I was very, very lucky.
Oh my gosh.
And that is just the gist
It was too much.
of Margaret Howe Lovatt, the woman who fell in love with and had close encounters with a dolphin named Peter.
Sensual.
Sensuous.
Sensuous encounters.
Sensuous encounters.
Oh my God, Margaret, Peter. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the movie adaptation.
I don't know if there
I
could
can.
be.
I'm not watching that.
I feel like, I mean, I can't do the maths on this, but I would really love to speak to those now adult children about their
Yeah,
childhood.
I
I
mean,
don't think they're okay.
The documentary came out
They'd be good swimmers.
in, when did the documentary come out? When did I say? 2016, I think, about this all. But other than that, there's like some articles. It's one of those stories that every few years people hear about it and there's articles written about it or whatever. But I don't think it's one of those things that is just the right amount of disturbing in a way that like no one's ever going to make too much content about it, except us.
This is episode 1 of 85 on.
I am actually not sure what happened to Peter.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question, actually, because
I don't know if he pined for her the same way
Yeah, they were
she
deeply in
spent the rest of her life pining for him at that.
or if he
because
moved
he was
on with Sissy.
maybe with
bitch.
Pamela or
Oh,
Sissy,
Pamela,
but he went to that facility in Miami.
I'm trying to work out if it would be
And
creepier or less creepy if he had like a dolphin-y name. You know,
Yeah,
if it was like
if he was called Flipper,
like Flipper or
yeah, or like I don't know, something weird,
yeah.
or like
Peter is such a human name.
Yeah. There's no
But-
M's
Like
in
a
it, though.
sensible
That helps.
human.
no, but I mean, it's
can
very
say
strange
Michael
because
Levine.
A real problem.
she really, like, in this documentary, in this interview later, she really seems to still like quite believe that there was a level of like she acquiesced to something that the dolphin wanted.
Is Margaret still among us? Is she still living?
Good question. Probably she wasn't that old she was 23 in that. She was
in the
23 in the early 60s, and then she
so
looks
she's
she looks quite
maybe
like
an old lady
young
now.
in the 2016 documentary. What would she be, 70 or something? No, 80.
In her 80s.
80s.
Does she live in a Troy McClure-esque?
Guys, this is just the
Underwater
gist. I
house.
haven't.
So many
I don't
questions
know where
about
Margaret's
this.
at.
Too many
Guys,
questions.
too many questions. I don't know. I'm giving.
We'll do a sequel.
The interesting part here is the dolphin relationship. You guys are like, where does she live now? So what does she do? What school do her kids go to? I'm like, guys, I feel like
Does she know the woman that fell in love with the roller coaster?
Yeah.
They were in the club together?
Yeah, in the
this
Eiffel
show is
Tower
just
woman.
the
They're all in
gist,
the
you guys.
club.
I didn't go that deep, but
Loved it.
that's Margaret Howe Lovatt. So
That's amazing. This is a real high point of the podcast.
yeah, I
I've been
don't
thinking
think
about this for some time.
this is really setting the tone for what we're all about. Just we're gonna have those sponsors just scrambling over
maybe
each other to
SeaWorld.
get
I was
on
about to- I was just
board.
thinking, who could sponsor us? The aquarium?
The aquarium, SeaWorld. I don't know. Yeah.
Some sort of fish and
Those
chip
weird
shop.
online
Tuna.
stores that sell like tentacle dildos and
Yeah.
Dolphin.
That kind of
yeah,
thing.
that is
That's a
right
real
up their
thing.
alley. Yeah.
I do want to know though what those kids have to say have to have said something over the years about what it was like spending the first years of their life
So,
living in a
Mum.
dolphin house.
you know your ex?
Yeah.
The dolphin.
And they just
God.
there's so many nights where mum and dad were having a big argument and they're like, it's about Peter again. They're like, go to bed, Jessica. Peter's like the name they don't mention anymore. That's when dad started to drink a lot, when mum wouldn't stop talking about Peter. Anyway.
I mean, I think it sounds like the photographer husband was perhaps involved with Peter as well, judging by those sort of
I know,
snuggly
right?
pictures. But
Yeah,
you know.
who knows? Anyway.
Like one of those kids gets really into swimming and then the photographer's starts to doubt the paternity. It's just really my kid.
Those dolphin kicks.
Yeah. Something very dolphin-y about
Oh, God. All right. That's it. All right.
Thank you, Rosie.
enough.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
enough. All right, everyone. The silliness has hit a... Come on. Be serious.
Be professional.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
That is one.
I just really love that her name's Margaret.
Thank you for listening to Just the Gist, a Just the Network production. Executive produced and hosted by me, Rosie Waterland. Produced and edited by James Joseph with additional production support from JTG team Kate Lieber and Hayley Stavely and Acast legends Guy Scott Wilson and Simon McDermott. Looking for breaking news? It drops on the Just the Gist Patreon every Tuesday, along with a whole lot of other bonus audio, video, and behind-the-scenes content, which you can access for just $1, $1 a week by clicking the link in the show notes or searching Just the Gist Podcast on Patreon. Follow Just the Gist on Instagram and TikTok at Just the Gist Podcast, and watch the video version of every episode on our YouTube channel, also at, funnily enough, Just the Gist Podcast. Follow Rosie, that's me, in all of the places at Rosie Waterland. Want to give us a suggestion? Tell Rosie to stop singing so much? Email us at hello@justthegist.com.au. Thank you, as always, for listening. Now go say something impressive at a dinner party. Bye.